So in the last session we discussed about like what is BDD, basically the concepts and all. And today we will do some more practical in that. Basically today I'll be covering the topics. Mainly this, we will be parameterizing the complete scenario using the feature class. We will see what is data table in Cucumber, and we will download some log4j. We will see some reporting stuff. Log4j basically is a jar file which supports to report. It has got some commands and properties. Then we will see the generated logs. Then we will create some properties file. Properties file is basically you can say like where you want to store some key value pairs, like think of like when you create some string, you provide some name and you provide some value to it. So to that name you provide some value. So in that way we can store many information, many related information. I will tell you which ones to store or whatever we can store. And in the same passion we will building our automation framework. It will be still in progress actually. So I'll just start from the code. Basically today we have more of coding. Okay, so this is the project that we created. Okay, this seminar Cucumber. Under that what I have done is this is our previous one. If you remember the step definitions we wrote in the last session. Okay, and this is the feature file that I shared with you guys. Okay, we saw that how to parameterize the things. I mean how to pass the parameters to the functions. Now what we will do, we will parameterize our whole feature itself. Like you want, like you can think of some login feature, right? So there you must be trying to have some usernames or passwords which are wrong. So you must try, you may try to sometime break the application. In order to achieve that, you must need to first provide some wrong information. So providing those wrong information, we use this parameterization or whatever data if we want to provide in our test cases basically. So for that we use this parameterization stuff. So what I have done is I have written one more feature file. Okay, if you see this, the content is, the syntax is almost same. What I have done is we are logging into GPS. In order to add goals as an employee, I want to log in. So scenario is like logging in GPS. So what I have done, I have written the steps like given I go to login URL and on Firefox browser, let's say, and I enter login username as username whatever, and I enter login password as password, and I click on login button. Then logged in username should be, it is basically like you can say I am asserting or verifying, like the logged in username should be the whatever login username I used, and I click on the logout button to finally log out. So it is just a plain feature I have written to log into the GPS. So currently they are just plain text. I just wanted to, moving forward I will tell you like why I have placed like that, because moving forward we will be parameterizing those keywords. Actually it is currently now a text. If you remember our last session, what we did over here, we passed this good, we were just specifying to the Cucumber like this keyword, this good text we are passing as a parameter. Okay, over here if you see, okay,
these are the values that we are passing.
Yeah,
but
this
those are variables, so
those are the also values right now. So what I'll do, I will just let you know how we'll parameterize. So what I want to do over here is like you can think of for suppose login username, I want to provide more 2-3 users name more. So for that I need to provide some extra data. Okay, so what I have done is I have just given a name. You can give it any name just for understanding. So I have given it as login username. So I'll just tell you how to do this. Okay, and for corresponding feature file, okay, I have written one step file also. I have named it as login test. I will show you what I have written over here. This is the same code like in the previous session what we did, like we wrote this at the rate given annotations and all. We just currently I'm just printing this thing, so I'll just first run this code and just let you know what is the output. Previously I think someone asked me like if we have got multiple feature files, so how to run. So you can see there is nothing in that, because in the runner .java we just need to mention the source from where we are getting the feature files. So I have just mentioned the folder and it will just fetch all the feature files present in that. So let us run this. So currently this was the previous feature file, okay, and this is the new one which I have added. So under that currently nothing is happening, it's a plain text, so it's giving you the output as it is. Okay, what we'll do, we will just try parameterizing. Okay, for that for parameterizing we need to have we have some syntax. So under scenario we need to write a scenario outline first. Okay, the outline of the scenario first we need to mention in this way, and then let's say uh, what I have done is I have kept all these things so that it doesn't take much time to write. Okay, so if you can see this, okay, after the feature, after all the steps that we have written, we need to use this keyword as examples. Okay, and under that you can see I have given the name. You can consider one token name or whatever, this login username, so it will fetch from this. Then similarly this login password will fetch from this, and this user logged in name, this will be fetched from this. So actually we should know like what are the fields we are going to parameterize. Right now I have just provided this double quotes to each and every field, but actually what I'm going to do is I will show you how to parameterize these fields. 1, 2, this login username, password, and logged in name. So we will see. So this is the syntax we need to write. We need to use this logical and operator, this pipeline operator basically, and this is the syntax we need to write. So I have just kept it in a similar fashion, so that it's good to see actually. So this is how we need to write the parameters which we are going to pass. Okay, so you need to see this, and apart from this what we need to do, we need to provide this brackets in order to pass. Then we are parameterizing this one, and we are parameterizing this one too. Okay, so this is done. So what will happen, the same feature will be executed thrice, okay, depending upon the this number of rows or whatever data we have provided. So before that, okay, let's run this first. Let's see. If you see over here, given I go to login URL on Firefox and I enter as Jayprakash M as username and I enter Mindfire1 as password, and I click on login button. Okay, for the same I enter ABC as username, I enter ABC as password. Okay, the logged in username should be ABC. So you see like it is reading the parameters. Okay, xyz xyz xyz. So whatever the places which we mentioned, like we are going to parameterize, so it is taking the values from over here, and it is passing to the our step files, and it is successfully able to execute. In this step definition file, we don't need to do anything. If you see, what I have done is, like, I have whatever parameters I'm giving, I'm just defining over here. Like for this given, if you see, I go to login URL on Firefox. So what I have done, I have given, defined two parameters, string URL, string browser. Similarly for the second line, and I enter login username as username. So what I have done, and I have just given a name as object name and string test. So in one of the parameter, it will take this login username, and in another it will take this usernames. Though I am not providing any values to this one. This, yeah. Yes, whatever you see in these colors, right? There's different colors. Those are the keywords. Actually, we need to remember. These are simpler things. There is nothing. Just we need. Yeah, we need to pass the parameters, yeah, into the, it is one of the way. And apart from this, one more way we have is, like, we can use some Excel sheets. Okay, there is some different approach. For that, this is the basic thing, like using the Cucumber. Basically we need to know how we parameterize the steps, or this whatever steps we have written over here. Okay, so in this basically this definition file, I haven't done anything new. But only thing what I have done is, whatever parameters we pass, okay, we need to provide a regular expression over here. Dot star means anything, okay, and this backslash and this quotes, it is for the, for recognizing these quotes. Actually, you must be remembering, in coding we need to provide some escape character, right? This slash, backslash. So this is for this quotes. This one is for this other code, and this is the regular expression for for anything, dot star. Okay, so if you see, I go to login URL on Firefox, so I go to anything on anything, so it will just read, it will match actually. Okay, and accordingly it will execute the feature lines whatever we have written. Similarly over here, I enter this login username as username. Okay, I enter this as this. Just we need to learn this. So this is what, how we can parameterize. We can parameterize n number of lines over here. We can provide some more test data wherever, in whatever field we want to. In this way we need to this conical brackets we need to mention, and this is how we need to use, we should parameterize. Then we have a concept of data table over here. Okay, so data table is like it is basically a, you can say, it's also a key value pair. It stores the things as key and the value, like name, some XYZ, his occupation IT engineer, or whatever. Just think of a string and it contains some value. So it is just how it actually manages. It's a Java thing actually. In Java, how they manage it there, but in Cucumber they manage it as a data table. In data table, I will just let you know, it would be more easier how we write actually. It is also a way of passing the extra values where we need. Basically a way of passing some more values. Let's say this. So if I use this, so over here if you see, what I'm trying to do is, as you see seen that for these examples, each and every feature was executed thrice actually. Okay, depending upon these rows. But what happens to the data table, wherever line, we can provide this data table in whatever line, under and, under then, under but, okay, everywhere. So suppose if I want to provide under given, I am providing some data, some extra information, let's say for my test case. So I will provide like this. Over here we do not need to write the examples keyword. It will just take it as data, but we need to mention in the code. I mean, we need to use some commands to read these values actually. So I'll show you how we are doing this. In this login test Java, this is the corresponding step definition file for this login.feature. So what we will do, as we have given this data table, and you can see the syntax is all same, okay, as I pass this parameters. So it can be n number of rows and n number of columns also, this data table thing. Currently I'm passing 2 by 2 matrix, you can say. So over here we need to mention data table as table. Let's say I created one object as table. So over here we need to include some command. All the things I have kept ready so that it doesn't take much time. Okay, so I'll just explain you what I have done and what I'm doing. Okay, so over here, in order to read this data table, what we need to do is we need to create one list. Okay, this is pure Java. Fine. We will create one collection which will be a list, and in that list it will be of type map. Okay, for this we also need to import this util files, java.util map. You can see as it is a Java thing. Okay, java.util.list, java.util.map. It will import, and this is the how we instantiate one object when we create one object. And you see over here we are passing, okay, object of data table, and this data table thing is from Cucumber. And in this, the table, what I mean by table is this whole table, okay, not a single line. So as I told you, like, it will store it as a key and value pair. So here the key will be state and the value will be city. So for Karnataka it will be stored as Bangalore. For Odisha it will be stored as Bhubaneswar. Let's say how we can use this actually. What I have done is I have created one okay list. Its object is data. What I am doing is I am passing this table, data table dot as maps. This is the syntax actually. Okay, there is nothing much in this. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to print. I'm reading the values. So what I have written, I am opening URL, the URL, the same thing. You can see the last system.print online statement. Over here, what I did is I'm printing the URL, login URL, and the Firefox, the name itself. So what I'm doing over here is I'm opening the URL on browser, the same stuff. Okay, working in state. Let's say I'm working in some state, just to make it more readable. Working in state. So this is how we need to read: data.get 0.get state. So data.get is this list object. Okay, data dot get 0, the value at it will start from here 0 1 2. Okay, from Karnataka. This is the column names. So we need to be very careful in providing these names. These all are case sensitives, state and city. So over here if you see data.get 0.get city, and similarly data.get 0.get state. And in the similar fashion, to read out the second row, I have just changed the index value. Okay, so when we run this, what it will do, it will execute this. As I told you, it will pass this data table at once. Okay, nothing like at each time it will execute. So how you will see that this given statement is being executed twice every time. Okay, let's see the output, and it will be more easier to understand what I mean it. There's our life of tester. There's the GPS logging. Okay, this is the plain feature. We need to go to console. is the tester. Yes, over here if you see, I am opening login URL on Firefox working in state Karnataka at Bangalore. Then again it's printing I am opening login URL on Firefox working in state Odisha at Bhubaneswar, and rest are the same things. So we are simultaneously, you can see we are reading this data table, we are reading this this data also. And for reading this data table, we don't need to provide this conical brackets. Okay.
And for that we also don't need annotations.
What?
You need for annotations.
No, we don't need anything annotation. No annotations for this data table stuff. So it is also a way of passing data. Okay. You can say is just some extra piece of information. Okay. You may need depending upon your test case actually at some places. So over here, that's what I said, like it depends upon your test case. Suppose in some test case you require some some prerequisite things to happen, so you can directly mention over there like, okay, see, what I have written is, let's try to understand this one itself. I'm opening login URL on Firefox, let's say some URL on Firefox, mainly the GPS URL on Firefox, working in state Karnataka at Bangalore. So I am a user from Bangalore. So just to make you more understandable, understand you to the people who are using, it, there may be a case like, suppose in the feature file, if I use, suppose this first user is from Bangalore itself, let's think in that way. Okay, so is he able to access our GPS? Let's say one person you pulled his login credential from Bhubaneswar and one from Delhi. So in that way, just an extra piece of information to let you know, okay, this user was from Bangalore. Okay, in that way, it depends upon your case. You may not use it, or you may use in this this manner also. Okay, there is no yeah, for that particular statement it will pass all the parameters at once. Over here we saw like for each row it executed. Okay.
And data table will be much faster.
Yeah, I don't know about the fastness about that, but this is the basic concept actually right now. Okay, for passing some extra piece of information, or also we can use this as a test data also somewhere. So it depends, totally depends upon your test case and your needs actually. Okay, so this is what I had for this data table stuff. We can place it at after any feature line. Okay, depending upon your case. So this is how we parameterize, and this is how we pass the data tables, use these data tables in a single feature file actually. So let's go ahead. Okay, what we will do is we will just see the reporting stuff now. Okay, so we have a log4j file. Okay, jar file, it is Apache's product. Okay, free product, and it is used for logging, basically reporting. And so there are many things actually into that, many syntax or many way of reporting. So that is again a you can say separate thing to learn on the reporting stuff. So I have just used the simple and the simplest things just to let you know like what is it and how we have to use it. So let's say what we need to do is, first we need to download this jar file. So we had this pom file, you must be remembering this, like while creating the project I added some jar files. So again I will use this and I will download. And that day I was telling you like why we use this stuff is the Maven thing basically. So one of the main reason you can say of using it to whatever jar files you load from here, so because it's a jar thing, okay, Java thing, and it's an open source, so you guys know then and now we get the updates and all. So you're in project, if you have are using some old jar files, okay, so if it is a pom, if it is defined in the pom file, so what it will do, it will update the latest jar files. So you don't need to take care of those things, so it will handle it. So first we will do is we'll download this jar file. As you can see, this is the latest one, but I was using this one, so I'll just use this. We can use any, okay, latest things and all. So what I'll do, we will just run this as a Maven test just to ensure, like, see, it showed one new window. What it did, it was downloading some jar files from the internet. We'll see if the build is successful or not. Okay, build is successful, so it has incorporated those jar files also. If you can see, under this Maven dependencies we got this jar file. Fine. So, and one more thing, apart from that, we have got some settings. Okay, so those settings are, I have this file with me actually from the start itself, so I'll just use this one, copy, let's place it under let's say under this folder, not under some packages. You can place it anywhere, but just to classify each and everything different ways, so I have placed it under this folder itself. So let's see, I mean, what is it actually. So over here, if you see this log4j properties, okay, these are, there was some guy who okay, who did all this hard work, and this is the, you can say, this is the syntax we need to provide all the stuff. So over here, log4j.logger.test, this I have provided, okay, and we have some, actually we need to go through, on different track in learning this log4j properties. I will just tell you the basic things. We have got many, you can say, many ways of logging or many types of logging. One is debug, one is error, one is trace, stack trace. If you have heard of stack trace in .NET, we have. Then we have fatal errors, basically. So it is the way of logging. So when usually the developers develop an application, what they do is, if they are using this log4j, they will keep this value as debug. Okay, because what happens, whatever output they are retrieving, they are getting in their application, they will get, and there is a precedence over many, there, as I told you, like there are many other things like debug, fatal, error. So those are I mean, you can think in a way, those are like more on the higher precedence. So if I provide as an error over here, so what will happen, it won't print the out debug information. So right now we need this debug stuff over here, okay, and this is what I have defined for myself. And std out is again one more I mean, syntax kind of thing you can think of in for this log4j properties, as it is basically for like printing over under this console. Okay, over here, whatever, this is the console for this Maven. So whatever output we got after running our code, okay, so we need to use this std out stuff also over here. So if I remove this and I remove these settings, all this std out stuff, we won't see anything under the console. Okay, and debugger is basically used to, like, if you want to log your things in some file, okay, there is some file maybe inside your project or on your file systems, basically in any drive it can be. So over there, if you want, like, oh, okay, my all the information or all the outputs which I am showing for the application, it should be get logged. Or if there are any error messages, whatever thing, if you want it to be get logged on a file so that it can be used, I mean, in while tracking things, so we can do that. So over here, if you see, we have got certain properties, like first I need to provide this destination, like log4j.appender.destination is the same thing, dot file. This is the syntax. So if anyone wants to use in their project this log4j thing, I can just provide them this file itself. What they need to do is, they just need to download this Maven dependency, just edit this destination file. Basically this is my, I mean, local address over here, local path I have provided. They can provide it their own and they can directly use it. Okay, there is nothing much in this. So over here we have some properties actually. Max file size, if it is around, by default it is 10 MB actually, and right now we have done it at 5 MB, and append we have done as false. This property, what it does is like if you want, like each and every time you want to append the file itself, so in that way what will happen, every day suppose you are getting some error information in your application, so what will happen, like all the log file will get appended, but what I have done is I have given it at false, as false. Okay, so it will not append. Okay, each and every time if I execute my application, each and every time the same file will, I mean, what will happen, it will overwrite. Okay, all the older data will be lost, so it won't append. And they have some, you know, some pattern, there is a way, some way, you know, these are like you can say the formatting basically. So these are the things over here. We have maximum backup index. It will by default I think it is 4 2 or 5 I guess, but we have given it as 3. So what it does is it will make the backup of this error logs, log file basically. It will keep, so it depends on this number. Then we have this thing, this org apache.log4j.rolling file appender. What happens, suppose what if somehow if you are getting some more, you know, debug information in your application or some errors are coming, and if it increases this 5 MB barrier, what will happen, it will create a new file. Okay, so for this there is a property known as rolling file appender. Okay, so there are many more things. What currently what I will do, what we can do is right now I have placed one folder, okay, under C drive, testing folder. Right now, see, I will delete this. Okay, there is nothing right now, and I have given the same path, C drive. And you know, in Java we need to provide, you know, wherever we provide the path we need to provide double slash. Okay, in Java usually this is the format we need to follow. Just don't confuse why it is double. Okay, so this is the properties file, done. So we need to define it in our project in order to use it. First we downloaded the Maven thing, okay, dependency, then we configured our properties file. Then the next step is to, you know, just create the object of it so that we can use it. For that we need to create one object of this logger thing. I'll just tell you how. I have written this. Okay, let's say under steps, what I want to do is over here I will create one object of this. Oh, sorry. Okay, these are the two things which we need to import. Java util.login.logger. Okay, this file is imported now, and I have provided this test, the same name which were present over here. Okay, I can change it over here. Okay, and I can provide anything. So what I am doing is, this is the command. I am creating one name as application logs, and logger.getLogger test, it will get the that logger configuration basically. So what we need to do is, instead of this, you know, this system dot println, what we will do, we will just replace these things. Tell you. What happened? Is it? No, it is fine, I guess. Okay, that's why it's not taking actually. What you are saying? Right now what I was just trying to use is like the simplest way was to, I have imported this file, I have created, as I have created the object over here, so I was thinking to just in whatever page I want to use, I will just create the object in that page and I will just try using. Instead we can have some, as you said, from the log4j we can create some global object there itself and we can use it over multiple places also. It's not happening. Let wait.
He is saying that you will import from the Java. You need to import from that
Okay, okay.
You can delete the input page.
Let's see.
Don't delete it. Don't delete it. Just comment it. You will get one more option for login.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I chosen some different stuff you are saying. Oh yeah, exactly. That is the relevant. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So as you see, this debug is working now. Yes. Thanks, Abhishek. So we can just, just what we will do, we will just replace the system.outline println. So as we have provided one destination folder or destination file basically, so we will see, okay, these are getting logged over here there. Okay, let's try to execute this first. It is executed and let's go to our folder. So you can see previously I deleted this one, okay, and it is over here. If you see everything, I'm opening login here on Firefox, working in state Karnataka at Bangalore. So each and everything is getting logged over here. Okay, so what I can do is instead of right now like this file is out of this application, what I can do is I can just go to this properties file and I can create, I'll just tell you later on how to do that. We can create one file inside our project itself, okay, and we will just give the path over here, nothing else. Okay, you can keep your log file anywhere. Apart from that, this is what we have, we can use for logging purpose. Okay, currently it's, as I told you, like it is just a prototype, so I have not use some custom things, like we can write custom HTMLs also, okay, while reporting. Suppose like some test case is being executed or some particular function is being executed, and if it is failed or if it is passed, in order to track those information I can write some custom HTML over here, okay, and I can generate that thing also. So this is the like in future I have planned to incorporate that also, but this is the simplest thing we can log the output basically. Okay, so this is how we do. Next we had this we saw the log generators, then we will see properties file. Fine. So what happens, like usually while making the automation framework, we don't hard code things in our test cases itself. So for that purpose, either you can use some Excel sheets, okay, for storing the information, and apart from that, in Java we have some properties concept, okay, where you can store some values depending on your project needs. So let's say what can be your project needs basically. Mainly you guys are learning Selenium, right? So you must be you must be knowing, like you need to store the objects, page objects, basically the page elements information. Okay, XPaths and all, whatever you are using as a locator, you need to store the object information. For that, you may use either an Excel file, okay, or you may use this properties file. Over there we can store numerous number of objects. It can be links, it can be buttons, okay, it can be text boxes, anything. Whatever web elements we see on the web page, we need to store in order to use those in our automation. So apart from that, we can use store this environment information. Basically, suppose you are running your test cases on your production server, you're running your test cases on your staging server, okay, then UAT is also there, okay, where people usually do their testing and all. So using those information, browser information, okay, URLs, usernames, passwords, the test data, that one way is to store in the Excel files, else you can store in the properties file also. Okay, it's totally depend on you. So what I have done is I have created one package as a config in the project. So you see right now we are done with this two feature files we created. Okay, we created one step package. Under that we have the runner class, okay, which runs the application. There is nothing in that. And we have the step definitions. This one was the last one and this is the latest one. So under step we can include more and more Java files depending upon our feature files. Okay, so one package I have created as a config. What I have done is I have created some properties file in that. Okay, you can name them any. So basically, as I have seen, like many projects been done in Selenium and different stuff using this Eclipse, so they use some convention, you can say. It's not mandatory, you can use your own names and all. So some OR name I have used and config names I have used, I will show you. Okay, so let's see. I have created one file as or.properties. I have created one production-config.property. It will contain the information related to, let's say, my production server. Okay, this, let's say, the UAT configuration. Okay, that server configuration. So basically what we need to do is we just need to go new. Okay, we just need to create one file. Okay, as I told, like while creating the feature file, we need to append the name as dot feature. Okay, while this properties dealing with properties file, we need to append the file name is dot properties, and whatever name you provide, it will be done. Okay, so I have created one or.properties over there. As I told, like you can create by any name, and what you need to do is right now what I'm doing is I'm just storing the objects information. Basically, let's see. Over here I have defined, as I told you, this you can think of this is the key and its value is this. Okay, it stores the values in that way, in that manner. So I have defined one key, let's say test environment, and its value is production, prod, and for comments you need to use this hash. Okay, in properties file, if you want to comment something, you need to use this production comma UAT. Let's say I have stored this XPaths of, let's say, login username, and similarly login password, and I have classified things over here. I have for text fields, what I'll do, I will store all the text field under this tag, and under buttons tag I will try to store all the buttons, so as to remember the things, like okay, if we need to change something in future, so we can directly go to under that tag and we can search for the name, related name, and we can change the things. Similarly, we have got some links. So this is what we can store in the over.properties file. And similar fashion in production, what I have done is we can have some more information, like if we are doing some RDP to our production server, basically, so we can provide the RDP information, IP information over here. So right now I have just kept it as login URL. Let's say our production URL name is some www.ourgoalplan.com, and let's say our staging site is, let's say, qa.ourgoalplan.com. Okay, it would be different actually. Okay, production and yeah, we can have it. Just I'll show you like how the design itself, because so what happens actually, if we make it modular, then it would be a good way. Like suppose if I give this project to someone, if okay, I will tell them, okay, go and change that uat.config, that from that file just change the URL itself, so that they won't see this much of things over there at once. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, they can also be at one. I'll just tell you why I have done this. Okay, so I mean, this is the way we can differentiate actually. It's just a file. I mean, it doesn't cost you much. We can create numerous number of files, and we can just create, like, as I told you, we can keep the IP information or login username and password for that RDP. We can keep those kind of information in separate files. So it would be better, like, if someone wants to change over here, okay, then they can go and change. Rather, we can keep it in same thing also. It's doesn't matter. So for this, in order to okay, we have created this properties.file. What we will do, we will just try to read these values. Okay, how to read that? So for that, I have created one utility package. Okay, you can name it anything. It is just a convention. I have seen the things, the projects, they use this name as such. It contains only the feature file. I've nothing like that, but I am just trying to keep our feature files separate from our coding stuffs and all. So we can follow anything. We can make our own convention. Nothing like that. So I have created one utility package. Okay, what I'll be doing over here is I'll just try to read the properties file. Okay, so you see, as like we are moving towards making our framework. So these were the 3 files. We will see how to read those. So under utility, one file I have created, web connect. Okay, it will be basically used to read the files and many more things. Like in the coming sessions, I'll be telling you, like, okay, what are else we are going to do in this file. So right now what we will do, we will just try to instantiate this properties file. Okay, in order to read the values from that, we need to instantiate it. Okay, we need to start it, we need to read it first. So for that, we need to load it somewhere so that we can read it. So for that, in this web connect class, what I have done is this is the properties and its name. Okay, properties.or is equal to null and properties.config is equal to null. I have instantiated it as a null. So I have created one constructor over here. Okay, you can see, as we have no return type. Okay, for constructor we don't have any return types, and the class name should be the constructor name. Fine. So I have created one constructor, public web connect. Okay, what it will do, if it finds OR is exactly equal to null. Okay, if it is not instantiated, if it is already loaded, then it won't execute this code. If it is not loaded, then it will come under this. What it will do, we will create OR is equal to new properties. Okay, we will create a object. Then we need to use this file input stream. For this, using this command, we need to import this. Okay, java.io file input stream.jar, this file, and java utils.properties for using these properties keywords and all. So I have created one object of file input stream, and what I'm doing is system.get property. Okay, it is one of the command. Get property is a function, and over there we will this user.dir. Okay, this is the keyword which we use to get the current directory. Basically, in the current project, as we are under this seminar.cucumber project. Okay, so it will fetch the information till here. Okay, you are under this directory. So user.directory plus what we want to do is we want to load this OR file. So what we need to do is we need to provide this OR files path there. Okay, so as you see, it is under seminar cucumber, it is src test java, under config it is or.properties. So what I have done, I have appended user directory will get till, okay, so seminar underscore cucumber. After that, I need to append the path. So see the same thing, src test java config, and under that we have the file. So what this command will do, it will read, okay, and it will get the path, and we need to use this command or.load fs. Fs is the file stream object. So it is loaded, I mean ready to be used. This thing, yeah, it is a dynamic itself. It is like, see, user, suppose if yeah, this one, okay, no, why it will be a dynamic? Because this is my project structure. Suppose if I give you this project to you, you keep it at somewhere in your desktop or whatever, you import this project in your java. So what it will do, if it runs this command, okay, system.get property user dir, yeah, yeah, yes, you need to change, yes, yeah. Dynamically, but there should be something that needs to be constant, right? If everything is dynamic, you just need to go and search in some folder, like, okay, this, if this file contains these names, then okay, fetch that one. We won't be doing this thing. There would be something constant. So you can see, like, this is the constant thing till here, user.dir. And actually, as my project structure is like this, so that's why I have provided the path in this way. Suppose after some time, if I change my this, this path, yeah, yeah, obviously, yes. This is the, I mean, building we are, yes, yeah. So, and the similar passion, if you see, we have created config is equal to new properties, okay, we are using the same object, okay, fs is equal to new file input stream system.get property user dir till src test java config, okay, till config. What we are doing is we are getting this feature, this key actually, or.get property test environment. What I am doing is, as you see, I have placed my this config.properties name, I mean I have named in this way, production underscore config.properties and uat underscore config.properties. Instead we can have a single file as Gopal was suggesting. So let's see how to deal if we have two different settings, okay. So what I'm doing is, if you see over this, I created one test environment key and I have provided value right now as a production, okay. So what I'm doing, or.get property test environment. So what it will do, it will get that property as prod, this value it will be stored over here, plus underscore config dot properties, plus underscore config dot properties. So what will happen, depending upon your, suppose you have been given test cases to execute. Now what you do is you want to execute on production server, so you just need to come over here and you need to write prod, or if you want to execute on staging, you need to provide uat over here. So accordingly it will fetch the information from these two files, okay. So you see how dynamic, I mean we are trying to make it. Underscore config, these are the same things for both, just the only this thing it will change, okay. So it is loaded, and this is the command. Just say I used to, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to read the properties from the, let's say, or.get property login username. This is the login username, so I should get this value, and from the config.property I'm trying to use this login URL. So let's see, and we need to, while initializing, we need to write it in try catch block because there might be some error or all, just to handle it. So let's execute this, and prior to executing that we need to, run this, I mean create an object of this, run this constructor actually first. So for that we need to, under the steps, under this login, we need to run this constructor. Our was web connect, let's say selenium is equal to, Yeah, just wait. So we need to import this file. Okay, so if you see utility.webconnect, utility.webconnect, it has been imported. Utility dot this thing. Okay, so I have called that constructor over here, so that as we know, like our execution start from this runner class, and this runner class calls this login test.java. So as soon as it will start executing this, so first it will call this web connector. So let's run this just to see like if we are successfully reading the values from the properties file. If you see over here, see, we are getting the values. Okay, from this the XPath I am getting from the or.properties, and this URL I am getting from the production environment. So as it is been executed thrice, so it will be printed thrice. Okay, so as you see, like we are successful in reading the values. Okay, so this is, I think, yeah, that is what why I have for this session right now. Okay, so as you see, we have three packages. Okay, one is config, one is steps, and one is utility. And under config we just created some properties file just to store our web objects, okay, web elements, page elements. Okay, and then we created some config properties where we are storing some login URLs or test data, or sorry, user data we can store over there. Okay, and you saw like how to read this. Okay, we need to use just these two commands. Okay, this thing, file input stream, we need to read those file, and we need to load this file, and it's done. And apart from that, we learned how to parameterize the things. Sorry, this. So we learned this thing, we learned about data table, and we learned about how to report. Okay, in next seminar what I'll do is I will just change the path of that log file, and I will keep that log file into my project itself. Okay, so you don't need to change that file, that path name again and again. Okay, so if you guys have any queries, then we can go on. Let's see. Okay, so there is the framework design. Yeah, in the next we will be, I'll be incorporating the selenium. That going to be more interesting actually. Okay, we will be seeing how it is interacting with all our step definition file, that web connect file I have created. There I will create some driver objects. Okay, selenium web driver objects, and I will try to fetch the information from the properties file basically. Okay, because there we are storing the this XPaths and all. Okay, it will read it from there, it will open the browsers and all. Okay, and we will just using some more browsers like Firefox, Chrome, IE. Okay, I'll be telling you like for that we need to download some exes and all. For that, some Firefox that IE driver we need to download, Chrome driver. Okay, explicitly actually. So I'll be showing you that in next way actually, and that would be more good to see, like executing our test case. So this is, till now this is what we have built. Okay, we have got these things: config, steps, and utility. Last is the feature file. Okay, so this is what we have, and next we will be completing our like the prototype solution, using this Cucumber. So we'll be seeing the selenium stuff also. Okay, that's it for now. If you have any queries, then you can just get in back to me. Okay, think more. Thank you guys for attending.